Good morning and welcome to our March 21st, 2023 Board of County Commissioners meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We have a couple of exciting things happening this morning. We will lead off with our invocation by Senior Pastor Steve Bray from the Grace Place Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Vietnam veteran and President of the Vietnam Veterans Association of America, Post 1041, Lou Jones. After the pledge, we're going to have a proclamation, so if everyone would stay, honoring our Vietnam vets this morning. So, Pastor, welcome. Please rise.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here on behalf of the Grace Place Church, which has been serving District 3 in Martin County for over 45 years. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you today with hearts full of gratitude to live and serve in this beautiful part of your creation, which we call Martin County. From golden beaches to pristine preserves, this is a wonderful place to live, work, worship, attend school, and play. And today, I thank you for those whom you have entrusted to be the stewards of this great county. I pray for our commissioners as they deliberate, discuss, and decide matters that impact a wide variety of constituents in different ways. Grant them understanding for all the complexities they must consider and compassion for those they represent, even when they do not always share the same opinion. Give them wisdom to know what is best and courage to do what is right. Together we pray for your blessing upon this community which we cherish deeply. Keep our residents safe and provide care for those who are in need among us. And today we especially give thanks for those veterans who are in our midst, who have served our country, and we are blessed because of them. For all of your goodness, all of your grace, and all of your guidance, we give you thanks. Amen.
Amen.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. We'll begin with the pledge.
Yes, sir.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Jones, good morning, and thank you so much for coming this morning and for your service. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your military career?
Yes, my dad was in World War II, and pardon me, when I first got out of high school, I decided not to go to college. I thought it'd be smarter to join the service and take a cruise through the Caribbean, and I never heard of Vietnam, didn't know anything about it, and they told me we were going to Vietnam. I thought, well, there's a place I've never heard of. I thought it was in the Caribbean somewhere. Well, it was a good surprise. Anyway, we got over there. Now, all of us who were over there, I'm sure knew nothing about the politics. All we cared about was taking care of each other. And that was a challenge. But those of us that came back didn't enjoy much of a homecoming, but and it took a while before we accepted, or were accepted, I should say. Some of the guys had worse situations than I did. When we came back, nobody wanted to claim they were went to Vietnam because it was sort of a curse in terms of getting jobs or anything else. We were blamed for the politics. However, according to the statistics, there were 3 million of us that were actually over there, and none of us wanted to claim we were there. Nowadays, there were 10 million that claimed they were there. I don't know where the hell they were, but I didn't see them. But like when I came back, I decided it might be wise to go to college. So I went to college, and because I saw the difference between the way the officers lived and the way I lived, and I thought, well, that's a good idea. but I did not want to, I was in the reserves, but I decided not to even stay in the reserves because you never know where the heck I'm going to go next. So anyway, I had a pretty productive life since then. And the most productive productivity I've had in the past 10 years or so is serving this community with the Vietnam Veterans Chapter. Because for those of you who aren't aware, our chapter is set up to help all veterans of every era. We help veterans and their families. And my goal is to help ensure that through the VSO, that we help all veterans and their families get everything they earned. We have a great VSO staff. These guys are doing terrific jobs. And I try to make sure everybody knows, and we keep them real busy. 'Cause that's what they need. They need to do that. These guys are better. I mean, they can tell you, they've told us, in terms of their productivity and their abilities, they've been overwhelmed by people from Palm Beach and St. Lucie counties who couldn't do the same jobs. So they've had to cut back on that in order to take care of Martin County veterans. And like I said, they're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you, sir. Sir, your organization was honored a couple of years back. Can you tell us what that honor was?
Yes, well, they have 700 chapters throughout the United States. A little under 100,000 members that actually belong. And our chapter was selected because of all the things that we've done in this county to help veterans and their families. Back then we helped get the buses to take veterans down to the hospital, and we've raised an awful lot of money. We've raised several $100,000 to help veterans in this county.
And what was the award?
It was Chapter of the Year,
For the entire United States?
National
of America.
Chapter of the Year.
Out of
yes.
700 chapters. I think that is a remarkable testament to the work that you guys done. Would you honor us if we have everybody that's here that's a Vietnam vet come to the front? We'll take a picture, and we'll do the proclamation ahead of time.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Proclamation first.
Many of the brave men and women who served in Vietnam came home to a welcome unbefitting their dedicated service. And remembrances on Vietnam War Veterans Day are to ensure that this never happens again, and that our returning troops from current and future conflicts receive the full honor and respect that their noble and selfless service merits. The board offers this remembrance on March 29, 2023, to those veterans as a commitment that they shall not be forgotten, but held in esteem for their service to their country and our nation. Thank you.
Oh, he's coming back.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what American heroes look like. Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless. Thank you. Okay, as our veterans are departing the room, I'll just take care of some housekeeping. We have one additional item on our agenda this morning, departmental number 5. The Town of Sewell's Point is requesting a variance to the Board of County Commissioners BOCC adopted septic to sewer program. There are no consent polls. So with that, Commissioner Smith.
I'm going to move approval of the agenda and consent.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Commissioner Smith to accept the agenda as it's been presented, seconded by Commissioner Jenkins. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? That motion carries unanimously. Okay, we have two additional proclamations this morning. The next one is Surveyors and Mappers Week in Martin County, and it will be, before we do that, I apologize.
Ms. McCartney wanted to,
Yes, I apologize, Ms. McCartney. The daughters, a representative of the Daughters of the American Revolution also have a proclamation. If we can have Dan have Lou come back in to accept it on behalf of I apologize. It's not written on my thing. I knew it, but I didn't have it written. So just give us one moment. Someone go out and get
Rep. Lou.
our Veteran Service Officer to come back, and Lou. Just bear with us one moment. I guess it is on here.
You almost got here.
Yeah, he went right for the door and bypassed.
They can hear you.
Can you tell? No, we want to. Please come to the podium. Here comes Lou.
I'm flexible.
We want to honor it the proper way. Dan's working the lobby. No.
Cassie went out to get him.
She
You do it?
went the other way.
He went the other way, and he's standing there. Okay. I'm here representing the Daughters of the American Revolution, for Hal Patty Oki Chapter, NSDAR, Martin County. And we just wanted to thank you for this opportunity to accept the proclamation from the Board of County Commissioners acknowledging March the 29th as National Vietnam War Veterans Day. Since the launch of the 50th anniversary of the USA Vietnam War commemoration in 2012, the Daughters of the American Revolution have been a committed commemorative partner, vowing to meet the primary objective to thank and honor Vietnam veterans and their families for their service and sacrifice. Hal Patty Oki Chapter joined as a commemorative partner in 2014, and our chapter conducts a Vietnam veteran lapel pinning ceremony at its March meeting every year. As representatives of a grateful nation, we believe that healing will take place as we thank and honor our Vietnam War veterans. And I thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
And my husband is part of your group. Mac McCartney.
Mac, want to be in the picture?
No, he does not, he said.
Stick our heads out.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you all. Welcome home. My dad was World War II.
Okay, I apologize for that mix-up, but I'm glad we got a chance to put it together. Okay, Martha Ann, good morning.
Morning. Okay, our next proclamation is for Surveyors and Mappers Week in Martin County, Florida. Surveyors and mappers are counted among the founding leaders of our country and were instrumental in the formation of the layout of property boundaries in the United States that provide our citizens the enjoyment of property ownership. In recognition of March 19 through the 25th as Surveyors and Mappers Week, the board would like to acknowledge the men and women of this profession for their diligence in meeting the continuing needs of our communities. Marla, yep, you want to come up? Marla Moore is here from the who's the treasurer of the Florida Surveyor and Mapping Society, Indian River Chapter.
Thank you. I'm joined by the project surveyor at Martin County, and he will be giving our.
Hello. Board members, I'm Jesse Perez. I'm a new member of the surveying division here in Martin County. And with Marla used to be with us, and she's moved on to the private sector since. Just a little brief history. President Ronald Reagan proclaimed National Surveyors Week on February 13th, 1984. National Surveyor Week every year is on the third Sunday in March and aims to educate the public through classroom contact, media, and visible public service. Surveying has advanced civilization since the beginning of recorded history. When cities grow, planning is necessary for most earthbound projects. The building of the Great Pyramid, Giza, in 2700 BC is one of the first examples of the history of land surveying. Surveying is also used in transport, communication, mapping, and the definition of legal boundaries for land ownership. Many scientific disciplines use this important tool for research too. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says there are 43,400 surveyors in the United States. Surveyors are skilled or familiar with several fields. Some of those fields include geometry, trigonometry, regression analysis, physics, engineering, meteorology, programming language, and the law. While the basics of surveying are the same, the tools of surveying today use more technology than they once used. Drones and lasers have replaced much of the telescope and tripod work. Remote sensing and satellite imagery continue to improve and become cheaper, allowing more commonplace use. And with that, you read a portion of the proclamation, and the whole gist of this week is to educate the public, about what we do, and we need more surveyors. That's for sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
See, we've got one more people coming.
Surveyor. Come on up for the photo. Are we lined up properly? Does this work for you? I know you needed to have it perfect. A lot of walking around.
One more.
Our next proclamation is Government Finance Professionals Week.
I am both excited and pleased to read this to you today. The Government Finance Officers Association, or GFOA, is a professional association that serves more than 3,300 professionals from state, county, and city governments, school districts, colleges and universities, special districts, and private firms. In observance of Government Finance Professionals Week, March 20 through the 24th, the board would like to commend Martin County's own professionals for their dedication in expertly preparing the county budget, which has been recognized with the GFOA's Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for 25 consecutive years. Ms. Murley? Oh, Ms. Manning?
Well, at least it's older than I am, right? But I would like to, just say that the staff and I, OMB staff, are very delighted to receive this award for over 25 years. And it goes without saying that I am blessed and honored to have a wonderful, dedicated, hardworking staff that works in Martin County and the constituency. Thank you.
In addition to our OMB staff that we have out here, I'd also like to mention the clerk's office, finance department, our counterparts over at the clerk's office. Because of them and their annual popular financial report and their comprehensive annual financial report, along with our Distinguished Budget Award, we were one of the very few entities in the country that won the Triple Crown Award for all 3 documents. I always say, you want to see our award-winning budget, it's on the web. It's all of our hard work. We have an invisible job, but it's out there. So thank you for this.
We are missing a couple of individuals, but the major amount.
Tall in the back, not as tall.
Show some love.
The ones you don't.
Getting your steps in today.
What?
You're getting your steps in
I don't
today.
have my phone on me, so I'm not, they don't count. I'll have to add them in. Okay. Thank you very much for indulging us in those celebrations. We will now take public comment. How public comment works, if you're not familiar, is you'll have 3 minutes to address us on a topic, either generally or if it's going to be an agenda item later in the day that you won't be able to speak at. At the 2-minute and 45-second point, you'll hear a tone, which doesn't mean you have to stop. It just means that you have about 15 seconds to wrap up your thoughts. And if you do speak this morning on an agenda item later in the day, you don't get to speak about it twice. So if you would prefer to speak during the item, let me know. Otherwise, we'll take you all this morning. And our first request to speak form is Kathy Miskoski. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Commissioners. I am here representing many of my Souls Point neighbors. Agenda item 23-0643 is our town manager's request for a variance of your 300 grinder limit policy. We're sure you have heard from all of our commissioners by now. Our town manager, knowingly aware of our residents' opposition to sewers, being denied a promised referendum, and their Bartlett-Loeb letter of intent to sue, has instructed our commission to appear unified when contacting each of you about changing your policy for our town. Get your foot in the door. It'll force the issue. They'll eventually change our commissioners' Tom Peck, Fender, and Mayfield statements. We wonder if you feel as ignored and manipulated as Souls Point residents. Back in 2015, the BOCC approved the Martin County Utility Septic Elimination Report prepared by Martin County and Souls Point's very own Captech Engineering. MCU and Captech are not independent third parties and stand to gain financially with every project. The report ranks Souls Septics based on a 2007 Waukewa River Basin nitrate sourcing study prepared for St. Johns River and used 1978 Martin County plat records for the age of our septic systems. CapTech put the elimination of Sewell's 931 septics at number 12 among 24 communities, with Sewell's Point addressed as one town, not north or south, and certainly not 6 separate communities as Mr. Daniels, our town manager, has described it. Our town manager doesn't tell you the $8.4 million grant awarded requires a 50% dollar match that Sewell's Point does not have. To get the matches, Sewell's Point has applied for other grants, another $8.4 million and a $2.4 million, requiring 706 septic conversions and 50% matches. The commission, town manager, and engineer have told residents the $8,000 to $12,000 hookups fees will be used as matching funds, requiring no assessments nor mandatory hookups. Have they bit off more than they can chew, expecting others to swallow? We all know that the more expensive vacuum and gravity systems are used for communities with more than 300 properties and require property assessments and mandatory hookups. All this for something residents have been opposing for years. We ask that you stop this manipulation, show our residents we do have a voice. We ask that you deny.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Our next request to speak form is Mr. Pat Arena.
Pat Arena, Jensen Beach. Here we are, 1 year later. Lot 91 declared wetland in Sugar Hill.
Is your,
Would get with me, they never did. Why are you so afraid to admit that the county gave COs to adjacent lots without the county and state-required swales between the properties? You can't deny it. It's in your own topography maps. It's clear as day, clear for any judge. From day one, you had the power, you had the authority, and most important, you had the justification to write a simple letter, something like this. Dear Mr. Aronson, due to the lack of swales between lots, water flowed into Lot 91, and the government-made berm on the east side trapped that water. It is evident that this caused Lot 91 to become wetland. This administration feels no further wetland mitigation is required. Lot 91 is now a buildable lot and only needs to meet county and Sugar Hill building requirements. What if it was your lot? Sunday, I got a call from the owner, Patricia Aronson. She was hysterical, in tears. She could not catch her breath. She could not understand how the government could just steal people's property. I tried to calm her down and encourage her that everything would be all right. I was not successful. Yesterday, they rushed her to the hospital. She had a stroke. She was scheduled to be here today. Criminals steal from people with guns. My government steals from people with unjust laws. The common denominator is they both steal. I'm just guessing, but I think Patricia would have rather been robbed at gunpoint. Probably have a better chance of surviving. I learned this year this whole environmental issue has nothing to do with the environment. If you have enough money, you can build an island in the middle of Lake Okeechobee. Stewart is building with land that's underwater. It's just another government department to steal from the people. I thirst for righteousness. This is evil. The pastor summed it up today. Make your decisions with compassion and do the right thing. Thank you.
thank you. Mr. Arena, if you would stay for a moment, I had asked our county administrator to give a little update on what the situation and the status is on your request. You've been here many times to discuss this. Mr. Donaldson, your mic.
Yes, Commissioner, the issue is that the county does not determine what is a wetland. It's under the state rules in terms of how a wetland is determined. On this particular property, the state has determined that there is a wetland on site. The county's code has very strict regulations on how you deal with a wetland. There is a preclusion of reasonable use category that would allow some development to occur, but not to the extent that the property owner would desire. In terms of how you deal with a wetland, there is some, you would have to deal with the DEP or the Water Management District on terms of if it's not a wetland, then they would make that assertion. The county has no ability to determine what or what is not a wetland that comes under state jurisdiction. If they determine that it was a other surface water, then we could treat it as a normal lot. But until that is done, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do in terms of how the wetland is determined. That is, again, a state responsibility. And we've been preempted by the state to make any determinations on our own.
Mr. Donaldson, is there a process that Mr. Arena or the property owners could afford themselves of to appeal a DEP or a South Florida Water Management District determination?
It is simply with the DEP in terms of use of your environmental professionals to make an appeal, but ultimately it would be through the agency themselves.
Now, if Mr. Arena was able to appeal to those two organizations, the South Florida Water Management District and the state's DEP, Department of Environmental Protection, and he was to be successful, the county has no issue or problem if it's approved by those organizations, then we're okay with it, correct?
If it is approved that it is not a wetland, if it is determined that it is another surface water, the state does allow some mitigation requirements, which we do not. However, we do have a process that allows for a preclusion of reasonable use, which has been offered.
Okay.
But the wetland area substantially has to be preserved as a wetland.
If it's classified as a wetland.
That's correct. If it's not classified, if the state were to find in favor of Mr. Arena, as he's described, that it was it is not a wetland, then it would be treated as the whole lot could be developed as the property owner desires.
So, Mr. Arena, with that, and I wanted Mr. Donaldson to say that during our meeting, because this is a public meeting and it's recorded, I would encourage you, I mean, you have a compelling argument, you make a legitimate, articulate case. The South Florida Water Management District has offices here in Martin County, and the DEP has constituent services professionals. I would think that would be a logical path forward for you, is to try those two organizations. If you can make your case to them like you have to us. You heard Mr. Donaldson say that given if those determinations go in your favor or the property owner's favor, that the county does not have an issue that would hold you up. I don't know if you've gone down that road before, but that seems to be the logical path forward.
I'm not denying that it's wetlands. What I'm saying is, you approved at least 6 or 7 homes without the swales. I went to the historic permits from the South Florida Water Management District. It says right there that you must have swales in between the property to prevent erosion. And your own building code says the same thing. I built in 2001, and I had several meetings right here, to make sure that my water wouldn't run off into the next lot. And the next lot was a 20-foot easement. It wasn't even owned by anybody. So you're responsible for it. You did not put the swales in that were required by state and county codes. I'm not denying that it's wetlands. I'm saying that you created the wetlands.
Okay.
And to go through mitigation could be as much as $100,000. They will not give us a price, and they will not give us a time. It could take 10 years and $100,000, and we are not going down that road.
I hear you. Allow me the opportunity to review what you've just said, and we'll get in touch with you. I read in your letter you felt that we haven't been in touch with you, but I'm telling you now, I will find out if, because, look, you're an articulate gentleman, you've made a point, but we don't know just because you're saying it that it's completely accurate. So allow me to work with my staff as the chairman. It's not my district, but as the chairman, I will follow up on this and get back to you.
I would like you to assign somebody in this area that will be with me, represent me, and talk to me, and it's not happening.
I won't represent you, but the person that I'll assign to handle the review of what you're saying is the case is myself.
Okay, so I'll be hearing from you.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, our next request to speak for him is Miss Linda Smith. Ms. Smith, good morning.
Linda Smith, Jupiter, Florida, current Executive Committee Chair for the Sierra Club Loxahatchee Group. I will speak very briefly on 4 different topics. So much to talk about, but so little time. 3 minutes, it's tough. Martin County Commissioners, I believe I saw on Sarah Hurd's newsletter, have asked their citizens to write state elected officials regarding legislative session issues, asking them to vote no on Senate Bill 1240 and House Bill 197, which would prohibit counties to adopt laws, regulations, rules, and even policies related to water quality and water quantity pollution control. I wholeheartedly agree, and I have written my representatives, and I appreciate the county commissioners standing up to some of the local state officials, and I encourage all citizens to also write their representatives. So thank you, thank you, thank you for that. It was just mentioned state preemptions. It's like, ugh, what are they doing? I would also suggest writing against Senate Bill 540 and House Bill 359, which will allow prevailing parties to recover attorney fees and challenges in regards to comprehensive plans, which is a segue into discussing rural lifestyles. This week, Judge Francis Folks ruled that the rural lifestyle land use is out of touch with Martin County's comprehensive plan. I could not agree more. Properties within the urban-suburban boundary have access to water, sewer services closer to public services such as fire, police, and commercial activities, and that's where development should take place. Rural lifestyles would facilitate more intense development on land, agricultural land, and violates the county's guidelines for growth. I hope going forward the Commission and future commissioners will listen more to the public and try to rein in some of this development. The urban boundary is on the line here, and it is the difference that Martin County makes. Number 3, I want to thank the commissioners for working on getting grants for the septic to sewer conversions. I've heard comments that maybe there's still some more work to be done, but we must protect our waterways, and I appreciate the fact that you are going after the Florida Department of Environmental Protection funds for these grants. And 4, I have heard about a lot of concerns about the cost of solid waste removal in the county. And the best and easiest way to reduce the cost of solid waste removal is to reduce your waste. So to do that, I have copies of how to reduce single-use plastics from an organization called Skip the Stuff. And I mean, it's, the R's. First it's refuse, then it's reuse, then it's recycle, and then unfortunately you have to pay to take it away. I have 10 copies.
You can give them to the bailiff. Thank you very much. Our next request to speak for him is Mr. Tom Pine. Mr. Pine, good morning.
Morning, Commissioners. My name's Tom Pine. I live in Jensen Beach. I've been a resident of Martin County for nearly 50 years. According to our local government, the consent agenda, these items are considered routine and are enacted by one motion, but in reality, there's nothing further from the truth. At this meeting, there are $14,822,068 in expenditures of our tax dollars without identifying the payees or the purpose of the payments. In the month of March alone, the county government has spent over $1 million a day hidden in the consent agenda. Open government in Florida is dying at every level, more and more every day. This is not how democracy works. This is the beginning of communism. Just like Parks and Recreation's department going into more and more business ventures on the taxpayer's back, this is not how democracy works. This is how communism gets a start, one baby step at a time. This past week, I had the honor and privilege of walking with about 130 men, women, and children from Pahokee, Florida to Palm Beach, supporting the most abused workforce in America, farm workers. Since the inception of the award-winning Fair Food Program over a decade ago in Immokalee, Florida, two parallel worlds have existed side by side within the U.S. agriculture. The world of freedom from abuse on farms in the program and the world of harsh exploitation outside its protections. Inside the world of the Florida Food Program, workers have the power and the tools to be frontline monitors of their own rights. Outside the program, farm workers are subject to a litany of human rights abuses, including sexual harassment and abuse, wage theft, and modern-day slavery. The walk ended in Palm Beach this past Saturday, March 18th, with nearly 600 people in attendance, of many faiths and ethnic groups. Abuse in the field, unfortunately, is not something of the past. Farm workers forced to escape a Florida labor camp in Pahokee in 2017 have finally received some vindication. The labor contractor was sentenced in October of 2022 to almost a decade in prison for abuse of HT2A workers between 2015 and 2017, and was ordered to pay $173,125.44 in restitution. Harvard Business Review. The Fair Food Program is among the 15th most important social impact success stories in the past century. Today, there are more than a dozen corporations that belong to the Fair Food Program, and some of the first to join were Taco Bell, McDonald's, Burger King, and Whole Foods. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Our next request to speak for Ms. Holly Hoover. Good morning.
Morning, Commissioners. Morning, Commissioners. I'm here as a professional engineer who has lived in Sewell's Point for 24 years. I request the board not approve the variance being requested by Sewell's Point. I am for septic to sewer, but I am for the vacuum system that is part of the county's code and ordinance for the resiliency and maintenance reasons, as well as the lifestyle and practicality reasons. I agree with the former speaker that CapTech has completely misrepresented the system. I request that if you were to vote yes today against staff, that you table the matter till I can give you all the details, and I will give them all to you, working with staff for free. I will work as an engineer for free, and I've offered this for 24 years, to work with the very wealthy people in Sewell's Point to put in a proper system. The grinder system is not resilient. The $250,000, $250,000 free generator program that's to be dispelled so that when the grinders go out, everyone that doesn't know how to work a generator has to go out there and hook up a generator. It's just ridiculous and impractical. Speaking as an engineer for safety and resiliency, this is just absurd. Anyway, all the reasons for the vacuum system are well known to county staff. It was in the CIP in 2017. It was removed. I thought that might be for bond ratings. I can get to the bottom of all that if I have to. I would like for the county to take over the construction, the design and construction of the system, to require, because of the misrepresentation, that every resident of South Sewell's Point, all 706 that are one community, not a bunch of piecemealed communities, be informed in writing, in a letter of this matter, of all of the impacts of the grinder system, everything that they'll have to deal with for the next 20 or 30 years, because private property is a long-term project. Anyway, Beyond that, I agree wholeheartedly with the former speaker in some of her details. I would like to put the time to put together those details. I've been raising a child, but now I have the time to take this on. I'm more than happy to do the county's work to get that vacuum system in there. There are people in Sewell's Point who could literally write a check for the entire system today. It's preposterous that they're trying to put this forth. And I will leave you with this. One gentleman from CapTech said, "This is all just politics." This is not all politics. I'm here under 471-2 for this Florida State. This is not all politics. This is people's lives. Resiliency. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Donaldson, did you reach him? Okay. What we're going to do.
I can introduce it if you want to move.
No, not right now. I'm not going to take it right this, but when he arrives, so if someone could reach out to him. Sam Amerson, the head of our utilities department, works at a different location. We have requested that he come over. We have members of the Sewell's Point Commission here and staff and residents, obviously. So instead of taking it as our last item of the day, is when Mr. Amerson arrives, we will take it then. So hang in there. We have one more request. When we get through public comment. When we have one more request to speak for. If anyone else would like to address us this morning, you can ask our bailiff to fill out a form. You can speak beforehand and fill the form out afterwards if that is easier. Our next request to speak form is Mr. Charles Bender. Good to see you. Welcome.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, how's everybody doing?
Doing well.
I came with positive news.
That's why I put you last.
I just want to, I can't stay the whole day, but I appreciate what you all are doing in your leadership. And I came in support of the Cove Royale PUD amendment. How many times do you get a neighbor who actually comes and supports a PUD amendment next door? As you know, we took over the Samaritan's Home for Boys, for Place of Hope. Things are going great. The other thing I'd love to say, and don't get me in trouble back in Palm Beach County because I've done PUD amendments down there a million times, but working with your staff is amazing. I told them they should take over at Palm Beach County because it's not the same when you go through the process down there. But it's been great. We've submitted. Things are really happening. We're going to do some incredible improvements and expansion there. Thank you for your support. But we do support what they're trying to do next door to us. They've been a corporate partner of ours for many, many years. They're a good neighbor. They're great developers. Nice project, nice product. And also, you know, I'm looking forward to the day when they start coming over and the people move in. They start doing some barbecues with us and our kids and our young people. So just here in support. So thanks so much.
Mr. Bender, before you go, can you explain to the folks that might not know what Place of Hope is?
Yes, we take care of abused children, human trafficking survivors, single moms with children who just find themselves without a place to live. You know, the affordable housing issue is a big issue, but we do it with a lot of personal responsibility and oversights, and that's part of what we're looking to expand on that land that we received from that other nonprofit, and we're excited about it.
So it's your first foray into Martin County?
From a development perspective, yes. We did a little something in Hobe Sound, but
Oh, that's true.
yeah.
Well, we appreciate it, and I'm very familiar with your organization. Many of us are. Commissioner Smith would like to chime in, but I know that what you've done elsewhere will be, you know, is needed and will be very welcomed here in Martin County. Commissioner Smith.
And to that point, I went by, just happened to go by the other day, and the site is well under work. I would say it like that, right?
Yeah.
So you're making great progress, and we can't wait to see the future. It's really super exciting.
Thank you. With the current homes, we'll be open for sure with kids from your local judicial system before the end of the year. So,
Fantastic.
all right. All right. Thanks
Sir.
so much.
Any other public comments? Seeing none, come back to the board. We'll start with you, Commissioner Hurd.
I'm set.
Thank you. Commissioner Jenkins.
I'm good.
Commissioner Heatherington.
Oh, just since we had our Vietnam veterans here this morning, remind everybody that Southeast Honor Flight will be going on their first two flights, and April 15th and May 27th are the dates, and they are still looking for guardians to accompany the veterans. So if you're interested in doing that, it's a magnificent experience. Many of us have done it, and it's an unforgettable experience, and you can go to their website at southeasthonorflight.org.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Commissioner Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So last week, We traveled up to Tallahassee to meet on a couple different issues, and I'm sure we'll get an update today on some of the others. But about a month ago, 3 weeks ago, we had our MPO meeting in this room, and we had some residents from Indiantown come to our meeting and beg our board, our MPO board, to do something even more proactive, I guess, if you will, with the issues that are going on in 710. 710, if you aren't familiar, is a strategic intermodal system state road that goes through from Palm Beach County up through Okeechobee and through western Martin County, right through the middle of downtown Indiantown. One of the residents, Ms. Shannon Reynolds, came to the meeting and shared her story with us about losing her son. Her youngest son's daughter, girlfriend rather, was in a significant crash a month and a half or a couple months ago. And so she told that story, and she told about the other families in Indiantown that have been directly impacted about the accidents that have occurred on 710. And so we offered to go to Tallahassee with the residents and Mayor Gibbs Thomas. And so I was honored to take about a day and a half with them in Tallahassee. We met with the governor's office. We met with DOT a couple times, both the secretary of DOT, our district secretary, and then staff of FDOT. Shannon again shared her personal story with the staff in the governor's office. It was probably, of all the things I guess I've done in my years of doing this, probably the most emotional day and a half that you could want to offer from the stories. So on a positive note, and for those of you who follow what we do, how we do, roads, when you're talking about a major reconstruction of a rural cross-section of a road that was never intended in its design, current design, to handle the kind of truck volume and traffic that it's handling today, it's a very lengthy, very costly process to go through approving a project of that magnitude, and effectively it's taking it from a two-lane rural cross-section to a four-lane divided highway that will provide safety turn lanes and areas for residents to get off of the main line in a much more safer fashion. So our ask of the governor's office and of FDOT was to figure out a way to do it faster than the 5, 6, 7 years that it takes to go through that process, because at the rate that we are having fatalities out there, 20 or so more people under the current ratios would pass away or die in the next couple of years going through the process of FDOT. So I guess if there was a positive, there were a lot of positives that came out of it. No one told us no, which was, I think, the most important part of the conversation. They didn't put up any walls to say this can't happen, we can't do it. And so we are waiting for FDOT to get back to us with an update relative to what a timeline, an expedited timeline might look like, a funding timeline. And hopefully there's a fair amount of land acquisition that has to happen, and that's something that could probably start happening immediately if the money were made available. So I'm confident and positive that the MPO board did move 710 to its number one position of priorities, which plays a significant role in Tallahassee. It's where they start really drilling into and putting all their attention towards a project. So on our end here in the county, we've done, I think, what we're supposed to do, what we've done, and what we can do. It's sort of in the hands of the governor's office in Tallahassee with FDOT and our district office down in Fort Lauderdale. But I am very hopeful that we will move things forward in a much faster, more expedient timeline. And again, to Mayor Thomas and to Ms. Reynolds, I don't think we would have been anywhere near as successful or impactful if they had not made the trip with us and representing Indiantown and certainly representing their families. And as Shannon said multiple times, which was hard to stop the tears from not coming, she said, if this is the last thing I do for my family and for our residents, it's to make it a safer place in Indiantown. So thank you.
Thank you. Can you give the folks listening a ballpark idea of what kind of money you're talking about?
So The very, very broad, rough estimates for the four-laning segment of 710 from the outskirts of from downtown Indiantown to the county line is about $100 million in construction and probably $30 million in land acquisition.
So that's why it's a big project. It's a potentially $130 million project. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you representing us up there. I don't have anything this morning to move the meeting along. Mr. Donaldson?
No, sir.
Ms. Woods? Thank you. So I see that Mr. Amerson is here, the head of our Utilities Department. And we have representatives from Sewell's Point and residents from Sewell's Point here. So I'm going to take departmental item number 5 from Utilities and Solid Waste. The town of Sewell's Point is requesting a variance to the Board of County Commissioners adopted septic to sewer program. And so, Mr. Amerson, good morning, welcome. I appreciate you coming over on short notice. Sir, you can come forward. We'll allow Mr. Amerson to sort of introduce the item, and then we'll have your opportunity to speak as well, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, Sam Amerson, Utilities and Solid Waste Department Director. I believe it was March 10th, Mr. Daniels had provided a letter to the county administrator requesting a variance to our septic to sewer program, primarily the provision regarding what type of system to use. So as you're aware, the larger systems, greater than 300 homes, we've selected a vacuum system. And those communities with fewer than 300 homes, we've selected to use a grinder sewer system. And that fit our program of providing sewer service to 10,000 homes in 10 years. And we're on meeting our goal at this point. So Mr. Daniels had sent a letter. They wanted to get a variance to allow grinder sewers for up to 706 homes. We've done about 220 homes in North Sewell's Point, provided service to 220 homes. About 35% have connected. So South Sewell's Point has 706 homes. And to cut to the chase, their request is to come before you and to plead their case to allow 706 grinder systems in South Sewell's Point. So with that, I see Mr. Daniels is here, town manager from Sewell's Point, and I believe he would like to address the commission.
Thank you. Before Mr. Daniels, one moment. Mr. Donaldson.
Yeah, I just wanted to just further a little bit of background too, is that there's been dialogue with the town for a number of years on providing sewer to South Sewell's Point. And there are a handful of communities that part of Sewell's Point on the south that are accessed by bridges, smaller areas on the water. And so Sam and I, not long after Mr. Daniels became the manager, and also had conversations with his predecessor about the ability to do some grinders for those that are the lowest, and as we understood it, those that were actually interested in having a sewer system right away. And they were also had some challenges with whatever type of system you provided. So we did, in conversations with them, have said that for those few communities that were on the lagoon directly, were basically peninsulas off of the peninsula on the east side, that we would consider, and Sam had said that that would be, provided it was that approximate 300. The town did submit a grant application, which we did support, in the concept that it would be to support these homes. In the intervening time, that number of 300 has crept up, I think, to 330, as is what the town has requested based upon some other engineering considerations that they proposed. Mr. Amerson has put a cap at, I think, 330 as the maximum that he would consider in terms of, based upon the engineering design and the efficiencies of how we would serve the community. So for us, the issue of how we treat Sewell's Point is to treat them no differently than we do any of our other customers, and how we provide efficient service and the ability to serve our goal of 10,000 tanks, getting 10,000 units off the, in within 10 years, and we could not afford to do 10,000 grinder systems. It would be an immense operational expense to our ongoing and would require rate increases. So that's why the basis, and there's a lot of history behind that, the 300 versus and economies of scale in terms of how you build a vacuum system or a gravity. Sewell's Point has a few older, some gravity systems that were put in dry that we suggested could also be tied into, upgraded, and tied into this backbone system of grinders just by rehabbing those. So that's been our conversation to date. It was, they did get a grant, and they did come to us about a month ago wanting to revise that. Staff has been consistent in our application that due to the our overall goals and to be consistent, that we would not support more than the approximate 300 that's been in our conversations for about 2 years, I think, Sam, if I remember correctly. So this item was put on as a last-minute item at the request of the town, and so we didn't put a lot of detail into this item we put it on last Thursday to get it before you. I think at the town's request, I assume because of grant requirements that they're trying to achieve. So with that, I think that's the background of staff's presentation, and we are recommending denial of the request to go to 700 tanks. Thank you.
With that, Mr. Daniel, welcome. Good morning. As the chair, all I can do to assist is bring the item forward so you didn't have to sit here all day. But welcome, and please share your history and experience of what's been happening from your point of view.
Sure, and I appreciate the opportunity to meet with you, Mr. Chairman, and the commission. I've been in Sewell's Point now since August 7th, and I know this whole issue of septic to sewer conversions has been battered about for the last couple of years. Obviously, I would like to see us move forward one way or the other on the issue, and that's what I put forward to my commission, of which Commissioner Mayfield is here in the audience, and I know the mayor was on his way. I don't know if he made it in as yet, but Mayor Tom Peck. But anyhow, I'm representing the commission and all residents, not just some of the residents, all residents, and all of these residents also are Martin County residents. So I think that's kind of an important distinction. Unfortunately, we tend to hear from people that have a different agenda, and I've actually have walked the streets in the last couple of weeks and have only gotten one individual that didn't want to connect, and this is in the low-lying areas that we've discussed, that didn't want to connect, and that's because they just built a brand-new home and they have a new system, which is understandable. You know, it's a big investment, you know, that you put into a septic tank system, and it's also an investment to connect in. But I'm here today not to really talk about septic to sewer. I really want to talk about the cooperation. You know, your county administrator and Sam, you know, they have been working with me hand in hand since I got into Sewell's Point. And I really appreciate it because your staff, and I know it was mentioned before about your accounting staff and your surveying staff, but they are top-notch here in this county. And I've worked in different areas of the state of Florida, and I want you all to realize that's just not fodder that you're hearing, that's the truth. They go out of their way to help and not hinder. So I appreciate that, Don. As I said, our goal here is really met by the conditions that we talked about, whether it's 330, 337, whatever those numbers work out to be. And our commission took a 4-to-1 vote to move forward with the 337 as we have it. But again, those are all details that we can work out and not belabor the issue with you all, and move forward. So I'm here today to thank you all for everything. I know it was kind of a rush to get this on the agenda, but I would like to withdraw the request that we have in, Not to say that some point in the future, there might be a need for me to come back before you, but I really think it's important. We've really accomplished a lot, not that I get the credit for, but my predecessors get the credit for in the North Sewell Point septic to sewer conversions. But we also have future issues we have to work on with North Sewell's Point Road being a county road and needing some stormwater assistance and rehabilitation and the roadway itself. So, those are issues that we have to work hand in hand. So I try to look to the future, not just look at the problems that we have right now. And I think our relationship that we have to have as a group, the administrator to myself, to our commission, and your commission, is that we have to work hand in hand. There's so much more we can get accomplished through teamwork. There's so much more we can get accomplished that is necessary to meet the goals and objectives of our constituents, our residents, and our businesses. So with that, I just wanted to, again, thank you for all the teamwork, and I respectfully withdraw the request.
Sir, thank you very much. I think that the destination of where the village is trying to go is the same destination that we are as a county, and to remove septic systems and get everyone to switch over to a sewer. Just like the county at large, in your community, there's a lot of opinions on how that can be done. With that in mind, I have also appreciated the opportunity to have a conversation with Commissioner Mayfield and Commissioner Kurzman. I already know Commissioner Campo and the others. So if this was the topic, I feel that I did have a great opportunity to get to know some of your commissioners better, because this is not the only issue that we obviously will collaborate on. So I'm appreciative, and I know Commissioner Mayfield is here. We had an excellent conversation, and I applaud the folks that are trying to do something. We have some issues that have lingered here year after year, decade after decade. Commissioners come and go, and they jump in with a different kind of frame of mind. Obviously, there's some dissent in the community, but I think overall the process, when they asked me if we could get it on quickly, I said yes, because I do believe that the municipalities and the county do work hand in hand. I appreciate the kind words you had for our staff. Our staff is available to you and your staff. I know there was a speaker this morning that said she could come in and do it as well. I don't think a lack of professional, technical engineers and whatever else it would take from your team and our team is lacking. I don't think that the project is not moving forward because there's no one to discuss it or to plan it. We have some of the best around to handle these things. So as it goes back to your board and to your residents, I don't know if my colleagues want to jump in, but I would tell you that we are available to assist, I mean the five of us and our team, in any way possible. Because remember, our goal is the same as yours, that we eventually need to eliminate septic systems. And you have such a beautiful community, completely embraced by water bodies, that you would be one of the most important areas in the county to continue to move forward. All of us have some representation in our beautiful county of where water is. I mean, in Palm City, we are moving forward, and we have a lot of older homes and smaller homes along the South Fork of the St. Lucie River, and we've been waiting very patiently. And of course, the scope of the project is not everyone, but the areas, and Sam has been working with me on this, of course, those that are just outside of the next conversion area are desperate to do it as well. So I think we should, we like to say we lead the state in things, and Mr. Donaldson will tell you, Palm City got $8 million.
10.
We got 10, and what was?
Coral Gardens.
Coral Gardens got $8 million. And Indian Town,
We'll take the 2 if you want.
no, Palm City, largest community in Martin County. And Indian Town got 20 million. So out of the $400 million that was available at the state level, Martin County got $38 million, which is remarkable. And so, but that goes to show you that up in Tallahassee and elsewhere where these decisions are made, we are leading the way on how this is done, and the government at the state level has been rewarding us. Now, remember, a grant is not some lottery ticket. It's actually our tax dollars that come back to our community. I know some people say, well, a grant is not the same thing. It's still tax dollars. Yes. But if we don't apply for them and are awarded them, they go somewhere else. So they're lost tax dollars. These are regained tax dollars. So I appreciate you withdrawing it so that we don't turn it into a situation. Commissioners, any comments? Anyone from the public that has not already addressed us on this topic interested in addressing us? Seeing none? Ms. Woods, we don't have to do anything other than just take no action, correct? Okay, thank you very much, and I appreciate your time this morning. Commissioner Mayfield, thank you. Okay, we'll go back to the, Mr. Emerson, thanks for coming over. Back to the agenda as it's presented, board and committee appointments, Parks and Recreation Advisory Board appointments. Ms. Gordon, it's you. Oh, you're waiting for one more? Any colleagues have not turned in their voting slips? Now's the time.
That'd be me. Sorry. I was the big holdout.
Tie.
You want me to revote? You want me to revote? 'Cause I'm-
Not yet. Come present the fact that it was a tie.
It's easily fixed.
Donna Gordon for Administration, Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. The two at-large members that you just voted on, Mr. Jack Matheson received 4 votes. Mr. Craig Taylor and Ms. Sandy Groover received 2 votes each, so it's between those two.
So, do you want me to change?
It's up to you.
I'd vote for Mr. Craig Taylor.
That makes it easy.
Does that give you your third, right?
Yes. And on the terms, they all end April 8, 2025, but the at-large, one would begin immediately, and I would recommend that be Craig Taylor, and one would begin April 9th, which would be the continuation for Mr. Matheson. And then we have Commission Districts 1, 2, 3, and 5. Commission District 2, Casey Cass, and Commission District 3, Anthony Bruce Burr. And I'm hoping the others can appoint someone?
We're in the process of working that out in District 5.
And 1.
Okay.
Thank you very much. We'd have to take a motion and a second on,
Move approval of the at-large positions for Jack Matheson's term to begin on April 9th. Is that what you recommended? And for Craig Taylor's appointment to begin immediately with Casey Cass and Anthony Bruce Burr returning.
Second. Thank you. We have a motion to accept how it was presented by Ms. Gordon, by Commissioner Hurd, seconded by Commissioner Jenkins. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have about 15 minutes before we do our closed captioning break, so we'll take public hearing number 1. Consider adoption of an ordinance repealing Division 2 Indiantown Community Development District, Article 10, Special Districts, Chapter 71, Finance and Taxation, General Ordinances, Martin County Code, and dissolving the Indiantown Community Development District. It'll be presented this morning by Ms. Sarah Woods. Ms. Woods, you are recognized.
Yes, Sarah Woods, County Attorney. On February 2nd of this year, the Florida DEO notified us that they had declared the Indiantown Community Development District inactive pursuant to Section 189.062, and thus the county is required to dissolve the special district and repeal the enabling county ordinance. As a bit of background, Irongate Indiantown investors in February of 2008 filed a petition to create this community development district which would be used to finance and operate improvements within the Indiantown development of regional impact. And just as an aside, that development never went forward. As I said before, on February 2nd of 2023, DEO declared this CDD inactive. And again, Section 189.062, subparagraph 5, provides that once a district is declared inactive, it cannot collect taxes, fees, or assessments unless the declaration is withdrawn or revoked by the DEO or invalidated in proceedings by the special district. In this case, it was declared dissolved, and then pursuant to 189.062(4), the entity that created the CDD, which was Martin County, is required to dissolve the district by repealing the enabling laws. I've provided, we've advertised this ordinance. It provides for the repeal of the Indiantown Community Development District, and also provides for filing with the Department of State as well as transmittal to the DEO, and our recommendation is for approval. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Jenkins.
So normally I try to ask questions to staff before we have a meeting so I don't have to talk so much. But it just kind of came to me. So I guess the question would be, and I should have asked the Indiantown Commission whether they have any interest in the future of establishing their own CRA. Is this transferable? No, it's not.
No.
Okay, well then, I shouldn't have, I suspected that, but I just want to clarify it.
And this
Because
is
anytime I ever do something, for every action, there is a reaction. So then tomorrow I get a call, why did you do that? Because we could have, so anyway.
This came at the request of the property owner. That's how this was initiated, because it's important to understand, I believe this DRI now lies within the jurisdiction of the village. So they would take their own actions this is a community development district, not a CRA. So it's similar, so it would provide the infrastructure by taxing the property owners or the property owner to put the infrastructure into a large development, and this.
So I'm even, that somehow.
That's okay. No, there's
Started with a C, and I didn't get to the.
It doesn't happen very often, and again, this sat dormant for years and years and years, so that's why.
I'll move to approve. How about that?
Thank you. Anyone from the public looking to address us on this? Seeing none, we have a motion by Commissioner Jenkins for staff's recommendation, seconded by Commissioner Smith. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? The motion carries unanimously. We still have a little bit of time, so let's take departmental quasi-judicial number 1 from the Growth Management Department. Request for plat approval for the Magnolia Ridge of Palm City Planned Unit Development, P161-005. Good morning, sir. It's quasi-judicial, so I will ask my colleagues if they've had any ex parte communications. I'll start with you, Commissioner Hurd.
I have none.
Commissioner Jenkins.
If I have any of them in file.
Commissioner Heatherington.
If any have been filed?
Commissioner Smith.
If I have them, they're filed.
I have some, and they've been filed. Are there any return receipts necessary?
None required.
Any interveners?
No interveners.
Do you have a copy of the agenda item and your work history? Is there anyone that'll be offering any kind of testimony? Will you please stand to be sworn in? Is there anybody representing the applicant? You're going to offer any testimony? Not right this minute, just if you are, you have to be sworn in, so stand and raise your right hand.
Raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Elder, did I check all the boxes?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. You are recognized.
Thank you.
And speak loud and clear into the microphone.
All right, good morning, Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. Donaldson, Ms. Woods. For the record, I'm Brian Elam, the Principal Planner with Growth Management. A copy of the agenda item in my work history have been provided. This is a request by Palm City GA Homes LLC for approval of a plat for a 28-lot residential subdivision consisting of 14 duplex townhomes. The Magnolia Ridge of Palm City PUD received a master final site plan approval on June 16, 2020. The development is located at 3646 Southwest Magnolia Ridge Lane in Palm City on approximately 3.57 acres. Minor technical changes to the approved Magnolia Ridge of Palm City PUD Exhibit D master and final site plan were required to achieve plat consistency. As a result of these minor technical changes, the First Amendment to the Magnolia Ridge of Palm City PUD is part of this agenda item for the purpose of updating Exhibit D with a revised master and final site plan. Here's a view of the staff-approved plat, which is consistent with the revised master and final site plan attached in the Magnolia Ridge of Palm City PUD First Amendment. The minor technical changes are landscape and drainage track number labels, lift station track label, utility easement labels. Development review staff has concluded the application complies with all applicable land development regulations and the comprehensive growth management plan. Staff recommends the board move to receive and file the agenda item and all attachments as Exhibit 1. And staff recommends the board approve the plat for the Magnolia Ridge of Palm City PUD, including the contract for completion of required improvements in infrastructure and the First Amendment to the Magnolia Ridge of Palm City PUD zoning agreement, which updates Exhibit D with a revised master and final site plan. That concludes the presentation.
Mr. Elam, thank you very much. Commissioner Hurd.
I recognize that this is a plat approval and that the board approved the site plan on June of 2020 nevertheless. Do we have minimum lot sizes?
They were decided in the PUD agreement.
I'm just asking, in a PUD agreement, what are our rules? What's our minimum lot size in Martin County? Because these are 32 by 69.
So it's Elise Elder, Deputy County Attorney. They're negotiated between the board and the applicant in the PUD agreement. So I don't have the PUD agreement in front of me, but whatever is provided in the PUD agreement would be the minimum lot size for this particular property.
So is there no minimum lot size in Martin County?
I don't believe there is, no.
Can you tell me what the adjacent uses are? And can you also tell me what the density is?
He's going to have to be sworn in.
Let me see.
I can tell you what the adjacent uses are.
You just skip right
I have it here.
To the east is the Palm City Presbyterian Church.
there.
To the west is a stormwater retention pond that was built when the Martin Highway construction was completed.
To the east is, what's the land use and zoning?
It's a church.
So what's the land use and zoning?
This is a plat.
I don't have that in here.
If you'd like, I have the map
Are there any compatibility requirements?
Down here?
Yep. And go
Go, yeah, GIS.
ahead and show him.
And a PUD amendment.
Go back to that,
No, that's not gonna,
back to that GIS map. There, there.
Maybe you can drive this, Peter.
When we get there, it's
yeah.
in my neighborhood.
There it goes.
I only search by PCN numbers.
Okay, I'll get it.
I always look for the Danforth man.
Yeah, that's
Between Barry and,
See right here.
right here.
There it is. There's Barry.
Oh, is it? It looks like
There it is.
it's their lake.
Right there.
Gumby.
Yeah, it's got a smaller head. They needed to carve the lake out a little more.
Rural density.
Rural density to the east.
That's what it used to be.
Right here.
Yeah, so this is the property, something like a tomahawk looking.
Okay, and what's the maximum allowable density on medium?
Is that 8 units per acre?
And what's the density on this property?
I don't know. I didn't analyze this.
I don't know that it is. That's why I'm asking.
I don't even know if I have that in my, I don't even know if I have that in my
Go to your site
report.
plan. Do you have the site plan in the
Yes.
thing?
Let me see.
It's very fair,
7.86.
Okay.
Anything further?
No.
Commissioner Smith? Thank you. Applicant, you have an opportunity to come forward and make a presentation. Answer any questions.
First of all, hi, everybody. My name is Robert Johns. I'm the applicant. I've been working on this project since 2017. You guys have been cooperative. It's been a long journey for me. I've done a number of these developments. This one took a lot longer. Your staff was not unreasonable, but the process took a very, very long time. At this point, I believe I've complied and in some cases bent over backwards to try to make this project compatible to, what it is that you're looking to do there. When I purchased the land, it was already zoned for RM8. So I didn't change that. I'm at the point now where I've got units ready to go, and I've got a number of buyers that have bought the units, and I'm ready to convey the units. And a number of these buyers have loan locks that they put in place 10 months ago. And because of the COVID supply shortages and things along those lines, many of these people are under the gun to get these units closed. Otherwise, their interest rates are going to jump. And some of those buyers will actually not be able to close because of that. So I implore you to just take a look at the process that I've gone through. I've complied with everything, and give me the approval today so I can move forward and convey these units. Okay.
Thank you. I have some comments, but I'll work through the process first. Any questions from my colleagues for the applicant? Seeing none. Anyone from the public looking to address us on this topic? Seeing none. I have a couple of questions for staff. I think Mr. Johns had said it, and I would also say that this is in my district. Commissioner Hurd, a majority of these homes are already constructed. The infrastructure is in. It's, for people who are not familiar, it's across the street from Hidden Oaks Middle School. When we originally approved this, and the presentation was made originally, I had received more requests of interest from folks that lived in Palm City that were interested in having an opportunity to stay or live in Palm City in something that wasn't tremendous and required a tremendous amount of work. I think the project itself is very well done. My wife and I have walked the street there as it's been under construction. I think the sizes are appropriate. They've worked very well with their neighbors. They've worked well with our staff. We've had a couple of phone conversations, and the point that Mr. Johns just made, and I did have a chance to speak to our staff about, you can, and I think all of us received letters from a couple of the potential residents or people that are under contract. And our staff has been very helpful, and I know, Mr. Johns, there's a list of things that still need to be done, but publicly I would request, I don't know if the plat, us approving the plat today moves and puts him in a position to save those people's mortgage rates. Can you give us sort of an update on what our status is?
Well, we have, our growth management department has already prepared the post-approval letter, so it's not waiting for this meeting to be done. It's prepared already. The applicant needs to provide all the things in a timely manner, and we ourselves need to make it a priority internally to expedite it, to get the signatures. The bond needs to be posted. The contracts need to be signed. And as long as we waste no time and expedite it, we're going to do our best. The people that need to sign the plat, the Mylar needs to be provided. It needs to be correct. So it's very important that everything is done correctly and quickly in order to meet the April 7th, which we are, of course, more than happy to do.
Either come forward to the podium or you can't speak from the audience.
So
Okay.
We have prepared internally within growth management. I know that I believe our surveyor has already done a PRM inspection, but he still has to review, and it still needs to be signed. And I'm not completely familiar with all the post-approval. Usually when I'm done with this, I just wait for a signature to sign a paper later. But because of the necessity that this be done, I've looked into it a little bit, and that's what I know.
No, that's good.
Thank you. Okay, with that in mind, it's not so much that I'm trying to prop up the developer, but I can understand the anxiety that residents or future residents of people that have purchased some of these homes. I know that they would all sell. How many total units are there?
24?
4?
28.
28. 28 units, they could sell instantly. I know that they've sort of been throttling back a little bit on the sales, but I can imagine the concern that someone that has purchased one of these and locked in an interest rate. The interest rate a year ago was in the 3s, and the other day it was 6.825, and I think today it's higher. And I did listen to a radio thing on NPR where across the United States, folks that had been able to calculate what a new home would be for them, put the deposits down, only to realize that the interest rates have climbed so dramatically that the numbers no longer worked for those people. And not in this particular case, but across the United States, a lot of them, those deposits were not refunded because it wasn't the contractor or the developer's fault. But then this family that scrapped together the money to buy one of these homes, then the interest rate bottom, the market fell out on them, and now they had to pass. So I'm hoping that if, I know our staff is committed to do that, and Mr. Johns and I have had conversations. Let's, not so much for him personally, but for the folks that have emailed us. I'm assuming everybody got these emails that were very passionate about, please get this. So I know our staff will do that. So even if we have to work on an expedited basis, Mr. Elam, which I appreciate, anything in terms of signing things or moving it forward, it would be a great day for us if we could save those interest rates for those potential buyers. Commissioner Hurt.
Yeah, is there a normal timeline for getting final site plan approval and then platting? Or is it normal to get a final site plan approval, build the buildings, and then apply for plat approval?
Each person can do it however they want. You can apply for a plat after your first round of final site plan review.
So before construction?
Some, yes, some can apply for it.
Why the urgency now to plat when your buildings are already constructed?
Well,
Why
in
didn't
order
you
to-
apply
in order
for the
to
plat
convey-
earlier?
Yeah, in order to convey properties on this kind of a project, 3 things have to happen. The property has to be subdivided, which is the plat. All the infrastructure needs to be put in place, and you have to reach a final site plan approval. And the third thing is obviously the building has to be built and inspected, and you get your final inspection. In order to plat at the very beginning of the program, it requires that you bond the entire cost of the infrastructure, which in our case is about $1 million. I'm a very small developer. I don't have the ability to bond it. So my strategy was to move into this and get the plat approved towards the end of the project when the majority of the infrastructure was already in place. We started this process in mid-January. I thought I would be on the mid-January meeting, and one thing led to another. There was a lot of extra red tape, and now we're moving all the way into today's date. We have already done our first final site approval inspection, and there's a few items that are very clearly defined that would need to be done, and those are going to be done this week. And so the second issue, it's not just the plat, but it's this final site approval, which will be happening contemporaneously with the process of you signing off the plat after it's been approved today. And the third thing is the buildings, and they'll be done about the same time. So it's all converging to right now. But all three things have to happen. So if this plat is pushed out another 2 weeks, it will be the long pole in the tent. Does that answer your question?
Nadia?
And one other point, I have the surety bond. That's the original surety bond for it. Do I give it to you or to Stephanie?
I think they're going to handle this
Okay, that's fine.
after
That's fine.
we're done.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think we are at the point of the agenda item where we will do some voting. Commissioner Smith?
Not to waste any more time, I move approval.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't think we've been wasting time.
Constructive conversation. We have a motion by Commissioner Smith to accept staff's recommendation, seconded by Commissioner Heatherington. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. It is 10:38. We will take our break for closed captioning, and we will be back at 10:50.
You're on.
Thank you. We are back from our mid-morning closed captioning break. It's still March 21st, 2023, our Board of County Commissioner meetings. We will now take agenda item departmental quasi-judicial number 2, request plat approval for the Willoughby Hometowns PUD project W096-003. It'll be presented by Mr. Peter Walden. We'll start with you, Commissioner Smith, if you've had any ex parte communications.
I don't believe I've had them, but if they are, they're filed.
Thank you. Commissioner Heatherington.
Any, they've been filed.
Thank you. Commissioner Jenkins.
I don't think I have any, but if I do, they've been filed.
Commissioner Hurd.
If I have any, they've been filed.
I also, if I have any, they've been filed. Mr. Walden, do you have a copy of the agenda item in your work history to
I do.
submit? Ms. Elders, are there any interveners?
There are no interveners.
Do we need any return receipts?
No notices needed. No.
If anyone who's going to be offering any testimony for this agenda item would stand to be sworn in, please.
Raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Thank you. So with that, Mr. Walden, you are recognized to begin.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. Peter Walden, Deputy Growth Management Director, and this is a request by Meritage Homes for the Willoughby Townhomes PUD plat. It's for a 117 townhome subdivision on approximately 17.84 acres. The master site plan for the project was approved on April 19th of 2022, and the site plan was approved on October 18th of 2022. This is a copy of the title page of the plat. Subsequent pages laying out the subdivision. There are minor technical adjustments that need to be made to the final site plan. There is a resolution in with the agenda item to make that happen. It just has to deal with labeling of tracks and some distances and bearings that needed to be updated. Development review staff have found the application to be in compliance with all applicable land development regulations and the comprehensive growth management plan, and staff recommends approval. And move that the board receive and file the agenda item and all its attachments, including the staff report as Exhibit 1, and move that the board approve the plat for Willoughby Townhomes PUD, including the contract for completion of required improvements and infrastructure and the revised final site plan. That concludes my presentation. Be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Walden from the commission? Seeing none. Mr. Crady, good morning.
Good morning. For the record, my name is Morris Crady, Senior Partner with Lucido and Associates. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, Meritage Homes. We're in a complete agreement with staff recommendation of approval. We've been working closely with them since the master site plan was approved last year. We've complied with all the PUD special conditions. I'm sure y'all have seen some emails from Meritage, and Mike D'Amelio is in the audience, and he's been very careful and very sensitive to the neighbors surrounding the project and has been in constant communication with them. And he's on the job just about every day making sure that we're addressing any of their concerns. So with that understanding, we would look for your support and record the plat.
Thank you, sir. Questions for the applicant? Seeing none. Anyone from the public looking to address us on this topic? Seeing none. Back to the board.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Commissioner Jenkins to approve staff's recommendation, seconded by Commissioner Heatherington. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? That motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Our next agenda item will also be presented by Mr. Walden, so you can stay right there. It's departmental quasi-judicial number 3, request for approval of the second amendment to the Cove Royale planned unit development zoning agreement, including a revised master and phasing plan and revised Phase 1 final site plan, C165-005. It's quasi-judicial, so I'll ask my colleagues if they've had any ex parte communications. Commissioner Hurd.
If any, they've been filed.
Thank you. Commissioner Jenkins.
If any, they've been filed.
Commissioner Heatherington.
If any, they've been filed.
Commissioner Smith.
Same if any, they're filed.
Also with me, if I've had any, they've been filed. Mr. Walden, do you have another copy of your agenda and your
Another
work
copy of
history?
my work history.
Beautiful. Are there any return receipts that are necessary?
No, sir.
Any interveners?
No interveners?
Thank you. Anyone who will be offering any testimony, please stand to be sworn in. Yeah, how about that, the whole room?
Raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Sir, Mr. Walden,
sir.
you are recognized.
Thank you. Once again, Pete Walden with the Growth Management Department, and this is a request for the Second Amendment to the Cove Royale PUD zoning agreement. It includes a revised master and phasing plan and a revised Phase 1 final site plan, along with an amended preserve area management plan, and the location is on the south side of Cove Road, about 1.5 miles west of US 1. The Cove Royale PUD agreement was approved on March 26, 2019. It was a master plan to be developed in 2 phases. It included 118 detached single-family homes, an amenity area, and the associated infrastructure. Phase 1 final site plan was approved on May 15th of 2020. Phase 1 included 81 residential units and the amenity area. This is a development overlay of the aerial. The access to the site is on Cove Road. It does have an emergency access on Southeast Grace Lane. This is Phase 1 on the western portion of the property. Phase 2 is on the eastern portion of the property. This development over here is the approved Park Reserve at Park Trace development. This is the revised PUD master and phasing plan. There were only a couple changes associated with this amendment. There are 2 additional lots, and the lots were slightly reconfigured. The stormwater process was changed to go from dry detention to wet detention, or lakes, and that actually helped the excavation and fill numbers balance a little better on the project, so there's actually less trucks, dump trucks, entering and leaving the site with that change. Also, there's a minor change to some of the preserve areas that were impacted by that, but the resulting area created about 0.03 acres additional preserve areas at the end of the day. This is the revised Phase 1 final site plan. You can see the area of the preserves and the wetlands that are incorporated and responsible with this Phase 1 development. Again, they added 2 lots, so Phase 1 is 83 lots instead of 81. As I stated, the preserve area management plan has to be approved by the board because there is a minor change to the aerial extent of it, but it's very minor, and but it is a change nonetheless. Development review staff has reviewed the application and finds it in compliance with all applicable regulations and the comprehensive growth management plan as detailed in the staff report, and recommends approval.
Thank you, nice job.
Well, one more thing.
Oh, I take that back.
And we would move that the board receive and file the agenda item and its attachments, including the staff report as Exhibit 1, and move that the board approve the Second Amendment to the Cove Royale PUD zoning agreement, including the revised master and phasing plans, and move that the board adopt a resolution approving the revised Phase 1 final site plan, and move that the board approve the amended preserve area management plan. And that concludes my presentation. Be glad to answer any questions.
Adequate presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Walden? Seeing none, is the applicant's representative available? There he is, looks like a college professor. Sir, state your name for the record, please.
My name is Donald Quazzo. I'm here representing the applicant today, and I have been sworn. We're in agreement with the staff recommendation. I have an hour presentation that Pete's got in his hand if you would like me to make it, but
Forward to
I'd rather
seeing it.
just answer some questions. The project is now with a real developer, and so as we reconfigure some of the lots to make their product, that's why this whole thing changed. And as Mr. Walden discussed, the drainage is a much better system than it was originally done on this piece of property. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them or show you the presentation.
My colleagues want to see the presentation, or do they have questions for the applicant's representative? Thank you, sir. Anyone from the public looking to address us on this topic? Seeing none. Commissioner Smith.
Move staff's recommendations that are reflected on the screen.
I'll second it.
Thank you. We have a motion by Commissioner Smith to accept staff's recommendation as presented, seconded by Commissioner Heatherington. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? The motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We're going to, Ms. Manning, before you sit down, going to take an item out of order simply for the fact that our legislative, what's your title now, Ms. Powers? Legislative coordinator will be heading to Tallahassee, so in order to give her an opportunity to drive in daylight, we're going to take our agenda item number, departmental number 3, legislative program update. It'll be presented by a whole bunch of people, but I guess, yeah.
Just me, for now. John.
Terrific. Welcome to the county. This is your first time presenting in front of us. Why don't you give us a little bit of your background first, and then you can make the presentation.
Absolutely. So Sarah Powers, not born here, but raised here in Martin County since birth, pretty much. So I went to Florida State University. I graduated with a degree in political science. I worked for a couple other places, and I landed back here with Representative John Snyder. And from there, United Way, from there to here.
What high school did you go to?
Jensen Beach High School. Class of 2015.
Go Falcons.
Go Falcons, absolutely.
That was the determining factor.
That was the tipping point. And so you've been busy.
Very busy since last Tuesday. So,
Terrific.
or two Tuesdays ago.
Yeah, 2 Tuesdays. You are recognized for your presentation. I know you gave us each a summary handout, so why don't you begin?
So we are going, this is an update from weeks 1 and 2. We're currently in week 3. Like you said, I'll be traveling to Tallahassee after this, so that's that. Session dates, March 7th to May 5th. So far, as of yesterday, 1,700 bills have been introduced, and obviously, you know, our delegation, Senator Harrell, Rep. Snyder, and Rep. Overdorf. We were able to meet with them last week. The Stuart Martin Chamber was up, so they were able to speak to the group, which was really good. As Commissioner Smith already said, we met with FDOT and the governor's office in regards to widening 710. It was a very emotional couple meetings. I think, like you said, we didn't get told no. We talked real numbers. We were, Shannon Reynolds was there to share her story. Very moving. So we're seeking the funding from the state to, in the speed to make the process go faster. Our favorite bill, 102, has passed the Senate. So we've determined it's not going to affect the 4-story height limit or the density requirements. The language does state that it's the highest allowed, currently allowed height limit within 1 mile, so 4, or 3 stories, so 4 stories or 3. I know there's a couple areas where there's a 2-story, but it will be 3. And same with the density, it's within 1 mile. So some of the things it does do, we're getting, they'll be putting $700 million into SHIP and SAIL, the affordable housing programs. It expands the Florida Hometown Heroes housing program to provide down payment assistance to local hometown heroes in the workforce. It creates the missing middle property tax exemption, which is on newly constructed and recently renovated developments that
participate in the program. It's 5 years or less, and at least 70 units have to be affordable and rent below 10%. And and then there's the piece of the building material. So those are some of the good things that it does. We are still seeking clarification on some technicalities that would affect Martin County. But like I said, it's passed the Senate. It's working its way through the House. So there's still time to probably not amend it, but at least get clarification and maybe some technical language for Martin County put in there. And then we have the land and water management bills. Those are preempted bills that are not, they're horrible. We've discussed them. They aren't moving, so we're fairly confident that they're not going to pass this session, but we'll keep an eye on those. Same with the mobility fee bill, some of the things that it does. The Florida Association of Counties is working really diligently to clear up the impact fee portion of the bill, and we have someone working on that as well on our behalf. So, but it's not moving fast. It's not looking super likely that it's going to pass this session. So some of our appropriations were also already mentioned. We got $10 million already approved for Old Palm City septic to sewer conversion. $8 million for the Coral Garden septic to sewer conversion, and those are both already approved. And the budget should be coming out hopefully this week, so we'll kind of get a better idea, but some more of our the last three are the South County Line Bridge Construction Project, and then the East Fork Creek Phase 2, and the Fire Rescue Public Safety Training Tower for $6 million. All three of those are being sponsored by Senator Harrell and Representative Snyder. So they are on their way. So just to wrap up, on my way to Tallahassee, we'll be continuing to monitor 102, specifically getting those clarifications. The budget should come out this week, and we're going to work closely with all of our representatives to get those questions answered. And if you guys have any questions for me or anything you want me to have on my mind on my way to Tallahassee, let me know.
It's just a short little commute.
Yes, very short. I'll be there and back.
You're used to it. We have a couple. We'll start with Commissioner Hurd.
Yes, on Senate Bill 102, do we have to create additional financial incentives to be eligible for SHIP?
Do you know the
I remember that was a condition of the bill last week.
Do you know the answer? I don't know the answer to that, but John might.
John Mayle, Ecosystems and Assistant to the Legislative Coordinator. We don't know. It's a huge bill, and it's been amended about 4 times, and we're trying to catch up with some of those details. There are still the property tax exemptions that are associated with affordable housing developments that are approved, and there's still the administrative approval of developments that meet those qualifications. It did seem to remove the industrial zone, which was an improvement for us because some of the ambiguousness with that designation, but we'll have to get back to you on that issue, Hurd.
Any clarity on where these are allowed?
That's one of the areas where we need some clarification or would like to have some. There doesn't seem to be any reference to the urban service boundary or qualifications. There is language that says the intent is that these developments would be approved close to where they work, which would seem to be in conflict with approving them outside of the urban service boundary, but that is not clearly stated. Our concern is that if it passes as is, which it seems likely, that some of those clarifications won't be resolved until they're heard in court.
Okay. And also, one of the speakers this morning mentioned Senate Bill 540.
Mhm.
Is that proceeding? Is there a companion bill in the House? Is it proceeding quickly? Is it likely to be, what's the likelihood of it passing?
I have not followed that one yet, but I wrote it down to do my research on that, so I can get back to you for sure.
Also, I've read about biosolids
Mhm.
legislation. How does that look? And what's the likelihood of some beneficial legislation being passed as opposed to some harmful legislation being passed?
Right. I know that was one of Rep. Overdorf's priorities, was some of those. And he was just filing language when we were in Tallahassee last week. So again, I'll continue to monitor those and get an answer back to you.
And also, lastly, the $6 million request for fire safety, public safety training tower, is that separate from the 15 million that was approved by this board majority 2 weeks ago? In addition to, or is that part of?
Speaker,
It is part of. It was the, we approved if you recall, we pulled out just the tower to move forward with the training facility and the burn building. But the tower, which is in the CIP, but not, we were going for the grant for just the tower piece.
So this is 6 million of the entire 15 million appropriation.
Yes.
Thanks. Good luck.
Thank you.
Commissioner Smith?
I think it would be a really good idea if we sent a letter of appreciation for the time that the folks gave us for Indiantown. I think you don't have to draft it before you leave, but I think if someone here could draft it or whatever for you, that you could hand deliver it to both the governor's office. You don't have to hand deliver it, but I mean, take it to FDOT and get it to the secretary and get it to the governor's office. Additionally, I don't know, did we as a board did we create anything in support of that as the board versus the MPO?
I don't think so.
I don't think we did as a board.
I think I would include a separate letter supporting the four-laning, the expansion four-laning of a divided cross-section for north of basically the outer limits of downtown Indiantown to the county line in response to the requests and the discussions for the MPO, Board of County Commissioners, to be signed by the chair.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, Vice Chair.
Okay.
I almost hate to ask, but did Senator or Representative Terbalzi or Senator Harrell put in a request for the medical examiner's appropriations for design? Which was what they were requesting, right, or that resolution, so they could put in that appropriations request?
Yes, Commissioner, that was St. Lucie County made that request, and we are supporting it.
What was your question? Has it been done?
Was there an appropriations request submitted?
Yes, there was a request submitted by St. Lucie County on behalf of the 4 counties for the medical examiner's building.
Mr. Mail?
I can provide an answer to Commissioner Hurd's question about 540. The Senate version of that has not made much progress, but the House version has gone through all its committees. So it's expected that it would probably pass the House and go to the Senate in messages. So it has some likelihood of getting a floor vote. And specifically that bill, just for context for the public and the rest of the board, is the bill that provides for the prevailing party in any challenge to a comp plan amendment would be able to recover legal fees.
Thank you. Commissioner Smith?
Another meeting we also had, and I forgot all about this, we met with, I think, Chairman Payne, who is, I guess, second to the Speaker in the House side, about a statewide water policy that we have been working on for probably 5 or 6 years, in a program that very much looks like FDOT's work plan and their 5-year work plan and their 20-year work plan. I don't know from the feedback we're kind of getting that we're going to, even though it was a Speaker's priority this year and Senate's priority, I don't know that it's going to happen this year. But they are teeing up that conversation and that direction for next session. And the Florida Association of Counties put together a working paper that kind of outlined the strategy and the discussion about what that program would look like and how it would function. And so we gave that to Chairman Payne He was very receptive. I think his answer, not answer, but commentary to us was that he comes from a planning background, and planning to him is of his top priority, and having a water work plan with a strategic strategy is super important to them. So that's moving.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, Ms. Powers, we wish you safe travels.
Thank you.
Drive safe.
Mr. Mail, thank you so much. Our next agenda item is Departmental Number 1, Office of Management and Budget items which require board approval. There are 3 of them. They'll be presented by Ms. Jennifer Manning, and it is actually still Financial Professionals Week, so congratulations to you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning, Commissioners. Jennifer Manning, OMB Director. The first item on the agenda is permission to apply to Florida Inland Navigation for a derelict vessel grant funding in the amount of $31,492.50. It requires a $10,497 grant match, and that match has already been met because those vessels have already been removed. We've been successful over the last 5 or 6 years in acquiring grant funding from FINE. The second item is a request to allocate contributions based on the PUD for the 96th Street pedestrian lighting. It's $100,000, so we're requiring approval of a budget resolution as well as a CIP sheet amendment. Final item is also a request to allocate funding contribution for the Salerno Road from the Meritage Home of Florida, and this is for Salerno Road traffic safety improvements, and we're also requesting a revised CIP approval. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Commissioner Hurd.
Does anybody have any idea what items 2 and 3, what's proposed? What's the lighting improvement, and what's the traffic safety improvements?
I'm going to see if I can see the CIP on here. Resolutions here.
That's what we negotiated in the PUD, right?
Yeah, we'll probably have to, let's see, here we go.
I could, Mr. Chair, I could.
Sure.
I could
Sure,
touch
Lambert.
on
Sure,
Salerno.
Hetherington might have some
Salerno, there's some,
It's design and construction.
Luke, there you go.
Multimodal, okay.
Good morning.
Flashing indicator, speed feedback signs. Do you want to go over the Salerno that we've already crafted?
Sure. Working through Commissioner Hetherington's office, we have identified some pedestrian improvements. First off is the TAP project, where they're building that multimodal pathway on the north side of the road. And then short term, we identified some radar speed feedback signs that would get installed. And then longer term, look to build some crosswalks across Salerno there.
Can you state your name for the record? sir?
Luke Lambert in the Public Works Department.
Thank you. Thanks for coming down so fast.
And Mr. Lambert, do you know anything about the lighting project on 96th?
Yes. Thank you.
Only on the side.
So both of these projects were part of PUD development projects, and specifically on 96th Street, we identified a need for pedestrian safety lighting with Crystal Lake Elementary there. We noticed a gap, and the county engineer worked with the developer to come up with this contribution. So once these funds are received, we're going to move into design, and then probably need additional funds for construction.
Do you know what kind of lighting is proposed?
We would stick with the county standard detail lighting, similar to Dixie, Golden Gate, what's in downtown Jensen Beach. So we would stick with that profile.
Okay.
It's the concrete poles with the decorative light fixture on the top, correct?
Yes, so they're decorative light poles with the LED lights that are shielded down, so.
The reason that I'm asking is we have to be cautious when we think that we're doing neighborhoods a favor by installing lights, because as we found out on Hutchinson Island, our plans were very, very unpopular. So the neighborhood has to support whatever it is that we're installing.
Okay.
Thank you. Commissioner Smith.
And that just sort of triggered a thought. So one thing we've been experimenting with in downtown Jensen and talking to staff about, we've changed out the, I guess the
panels themselves or the bulbs.
Well, the panels and the bulbs are coming up with the voltage or the amount of lumens, I guess.
Correct.
We've increased the lumens. I don't know if the prior type lighting that we had fades over time. But we're putting in a much brighter, and it's very well shielded and very direct to where it's supposed to light. But we've really drastically improved some of the lighting in downtown to make sure that, like one of the crosswalks at the roundabout, you just couldn't see people stepping into the crosswalk. I mean, they just kind of disappeared in the dark, and so we've changed those out, and it's a much safer condition than it's been.
Thank you. Any other questions for our staff?
Move approval.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Commissioner Hurd to accept staff's recommendations, seconded by Commissioner Smith. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? The motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ms. Lambert, thanks for getting down here so fast. Our final item of the day is Departmental Number 4, Public Purpose Lease Agreement between Martin County and Hal Patioki Outdoor Center, LLC, to manage an outdoor recreation center at Hal Patioki Park. It will be presented by Mr. Kevin Kerwin, and he has a guest with him that he will introduce. Mr. Kerwin, you are recognized, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. Kevin Kerwin, your Deputy Director of the Martin County Park and Recreation Department.
Rick Clegg, resident of Jupiter, Florida, and applicant for Hal Patioki Outdoor Center.
And just-
Welcome.
So, the item before you today is the public purpose lease agreement between Martin County and the Hal Patioki Outdoor Center LLC to manage an outdoor recreation center at Hal Patioki Park. It's a 10-year public purpose lease agreement that gives the Hal Patioki Outdoor Center rights to the existing 1,500 square foot building, restroom building, and the use of the kayak and canoe launch at Hal Patioki Park. Just to note, the kayak and canoe launch at Hal Patioki Park will remain open to the public at no cost. With this proposed lease, Hal Patioki Outdoor Center, if it's okay if I could just say HOC going forward through this item.
I will allow it.
Thank you, sir. HOC agrees to pay $4,000 in rent monthly to Martin County, which will increase each year by 3%. The lease will provide for a total gross rent to the county of $550,258. There is an additional 5-year option to renew this lease at the discretion of the county. HOC also agrees to pay its share of the utilities for the existing building and restroom. The lease sets forth the terms of HOC's use, maintenance, management of the outdoor recreation center operations. It provides for specific conditions and obligations of the HOC, of HOC, including operating hours, financial record keeping, and the county's access to those records, event programming, website maintenance, insurance requirements, employee background check requirements, and equipment maintenance. Oh, excuse me. Now, Don, I lost that. If you could go back to it. There we go. The sole and specific purposes of this lease is for HOC to operate an outdoor recreation center that provides kayak, canoe, mountain bike, and Class 1 pedal assist mountain bike rentals, tours, and instructions, along with ecotourism activities such as guided tours on professionally captained pontoon boats and other environmental-focused experiences. And in addition, HOC may also provide concession services for food, beer, wine, liquor with required licensing and approvals. Staff's recommendation is that the board accept and approve the public purpose lease agreement with Halpatioke Outdoor Center LLC and authorize the chairman to execute all documents necessary to complete this transaction.
Thank you, Mr. Kerwin. Thank you to you and your team for not only finding a person, but putting this whole package together. It sounds like a great opportunity. Sir, would you like to say anything?
Sure. We've been the leading provider of ecotourism activities in Jupiter for the last 25 years. And presently, we're located at Riverbend Park. And we really look forward to assisting the residents of Martin County and its visitors in getting outdoors and enjoying nature.
Thank you so much. Any questions from, well, we'll start with Commissioner Smith.
Question, just move approval.
Anyone from the public looking to address us on this topic? Sir, please state your name for the record. You can fill out a form when you're done.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name's Tom Pine. I live in Jensen Beach, Florida. I'd like to know the process of picking the company to do the work. How did we come to picking this gentleman's company?
Okay. Well, we don't do a Q&A, but if you want to finish, I will ask when you're done.
I'm sorry, I just was wondering what the process is on how we pick this company to do this job.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kerwin, what was the selection process?
Mr. Chair and Commission, on September 15th, 2022, the county advertised a request for proposals for the management and operation of the Outdoor Recreation Center, and the RFP deadline was October 19th, 2022. The sole bidder presented its proposal to the selection team on November 1st, 2022. Following negotiations with the county's negotiation team, Halpatio Outdoor Center LLC was recommended to receive the award in front of you today.
I know you're not part of the department that does the requests, I believe, but it was a sole respondent to the request, and the request was handled in an appropriate fashion, reviewed by our legal staff to make sure that everyone had an equal opportunity to participate, correct?
Yes, sir.
State your name for the record.
Sebastian Fox, Assistant County Attorney.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner Hurd.
Commissioners, I don't know if you've been to this site, but if you haven't been there, you should go. You drive into the main entrance to Halpatioke and hang a left and go to the water's edge. It's a beautiful site on the water on the South Fork of the St. Lucie, which is one of the most beautiful in Martin County. And the building is lovely. It's been really, really well restored by Martin County. There's a lovely bathroom that's separate from it. It's just a terrific facility, and I'm really pleased to see that Mr. Flagg bid on this. I've been to Riverbend Park, to your facility there. It's very, very well run. It's a pleasure to kayak in Riverbend Park. So I'm really excited about the possibility that you can make this a success too, because it's a terrific spot.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Commissioner Hurd. I had been there with the family kayaking in the old facility, so I look forward to especially now. And I think it bears repeating that folks that have their own kayaks and are looking to utilize this county asset can at no cost, if they have their own equipment and their own items. But if they don't and would, prior to investing in such, can utilize the services of our new partner. And obviously, if you have a strong reputation already, it makes it even better for us. So I appreciate it.
Commissioner Smith's motion.
Thank you. Mr. Kerwin?
I just want to express and kind of echo Commissioner Hurd's sentiments. I mean, one thing in Martin County that really makes residents and visitors appreciate the abundance that we have is getting out and paddling and touching and riding the bike and experiencing what's out there. I know that when I first moved to Martin County, that is what I did, and that's why I love it so much. So, and to echo one more thing, Mr. Chair, and that's it. What you said is thank you for the team that worked on this. It was a cross-functional team that worked on the RFP and lease. There was from Ecosystems, we had John Meal and Zach Hughes. Real Property was Carla Segura and Mandy Johns. From Purchasing, Christy Brotherington and Katie Folks. And the Assistant County Attorney, Sebastian Fox, and Mike Spedavecki, and the team from Parks and Recreation, and along with Mr. Craig. So, thank you.
Sounds like you just won an award. I appreciate that you're acknowledging your team that worked with you on this.
Well deserved.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Smith to accept staff's recommendation, seconded by Commissioner Heatherington. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? That motion carries unanimously. Welcome. Okay, with that, we have reached the end of our official agenda. I will take any 5:05, or in this particular case, 11:36 public comment. Anyone looking to make a public comment at this point? Seeing none, we'll come back to the board with Commissioner Hurd for any closing comments.
I'm set.
Commissioner Jenkins, any closing comments?
I wish Commissioner Campy well-traveled. He's going on the other side of the world tomorrow, so, yeah, safe travels.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Heatherington?
I'm good, thank you.
Commissioner Smith? I have none, and to expedite, Commissioner, Mr. Donaldson.
I just appreciate Mr. Kerwin listing all the members, just kind of a short reminder of even what appears to be a simple item. You have a great team that really does a lot of great checks and balances and delivers a superior product.
Absolutely, and our residents will benefit from it. Ms. Woods?
Thank you.
Mr. Stokas, anything? Donna? Layla? Deputy? It looks like we're clear. Our next our next meeting is a joint meeting with the City of Stewart School Board and the Village of Indiantown. It'll be Thursday, March 30th at 9 a.m. in the Blake Library. It'll be televised. And then our next commission meeting will be on Tuesday, April 4th. Until then, I wish you all well.